The next tour with Howard Jones. Of course, there was the one last summer. There's the one this summer. There's the one nearby. I'll mention that in just a little bit. But my first question, having done the shows last year, you do this round this year. Is there one particular Howard Jones song? It doesn't have to be a hit. Any of his songs you would most like to perform live in concert?
In Howard's catalogue, I love the song I'd Like to Get to Know You Well. It's so hard to write a cheery, uplifting, happy, upbeat song. And there aren't enough of those in the world, so I think that's a great song. I'd sing that.
What in particular given that you're doing 2 rounds here within 2 years with him?
Well, what happened there, Luke, was in August, September, we went out on the road, ABC, with Howard Jones, and travelled all across America, and every night was phenomenal. The audiences were great, tickets sold out, there were some incredible performances. So it felt really good. Howard's music was a great compliment to ABC. Our style's very different, but somehow it made for a great 3-hour show. And on the back of that, it felt right to head out from San Francisco next week. We're going to play 18 more shows all across America, climaxing in Brooklyn and playing 2 shows in Philadelphia at the end of early March. We'll be finishing. So that's how that came about. Just the vibe. Yeah, it was good.
What was okay? So the band's first hit was about a year before his first hit, approximately. Depends on which country we're talking about, etc. Do you remember the first time you either heard new song or whichever one it was, the first one you heard or video? What was your first impression of him in whatever the context was back then?
Well, back then, I realized we started in about 82, 83, and we were hitting the charts with Poison Arrow, Look of Love.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, there was a golden age of MTV. There were so many charismatic bands coming through, from Dexys Midnight Runners to the Human League to the Cure to the Eurythmics to Culture Club, Duran Duran. There was Howard Jones, Nick Kershaw, bands coming through all the time. So I would have heard new song back then when it was first a hit. And I'll be honest with you, I love listening to the charts. There's something magical about it. I don't know if it's still valid after all these years, but I'm still checking out what's on the top 50 this week. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A whole new generation of acts coming through. So I do remember meeting Howard in Germany, mid-90s, and we were both on a German TV show, and the guy was introducing us both, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have 2 legends from the new wave era." And I kind of turned to Howard, and we both smiled and said, yeah, we can reinvent ourselves after 10 years of incredible hits. The 90s was a very different period, and that's become true. That's why it is a great privilege to stand on stage in 2025, and for me to play When Smokey Sings and Be Near Me, Poison Arrow, yeah.
So conversely around, and you mentioned, of course, all of your hits, and he goes even deeper in the set list, but which of your songs would you most be intrigued to see Howard Jones perform live?
I wouldn't let anyone sing my songs. Yeah, they're too valuable to me. Yeah, I love that song. I'll be doing them. Yeah.
All yours, all his, all there.
It would be great to duet, though. I noticed Howard loves Severance. He was just doing a little bit of social media about theme tunes. So, yeah, I reckon I should back up. I should have a few theme tunes in my back pocket ready for Thursday night, too. Yeah, we can throw it around. I mean, that's the beauty of playing with the great musicians, isn't it? You know, we change the set a lot. There's nothing on backing tape. It's just kind of a live experience through and through. I think that's why the show went really well in August and September last year. So, yeah, that's why we're back.
You've also got obviously the autobiography's been out for a little bit now, Lexicon of Life. What has been have you gotten any surprise reactions from fans or, fellow cohorts, either from your era, other musicians, whatever? What's maybe been the most, unexpected in a good way, unexpected response to the book?
Sometimes people go, I never realised you were from Manchester, because the band's formed in Sheffield, England, so for many years, I look like a Yorkshireman, but no, I was born in Manchester. That's a kind of interesting slant. But, it just felt right to kind of, after all these years, to tell some of the rock and roll stories about the roller coaster ride, really, of the last 30, 40 years being in a band, performing. The ups and downs, because as we all know, life is full of surprises, So it feels good to be able to reflect and look back on that, coming from a very, very confident place now, where I get the chance to play live all around the world, playing songs. Yeah, it feels good.
Given that the Lexicon of Love gave that album a full listen through a few years back when it was pointed out to me. I mean, I knew of the album, but it was pointed out like, okay, if you want like one of the cream of the crop new wave albums of the 80s, this is one you gotta really focus on. So I made a point of doing that. So we all know that one. There are other albums. There's plenty of discography. So point out to folks, and given the chance that I got a moment to talk to you, is there an ABC song?
Yeah, we had a record called How to Be a Zillionaire, which was very popular in America, with songs like Be Near Me, How to Be a Millionaire, Ocean Blue on it. We had the whole spell where we had a song called When Smokey Sings, which was high on the charts, Night You Murdered Love, King Without a Crown, off an album called Alphabet City. So, through the years we struck big on a number of occasions, yeah.
What is the most underrated of the songs? Even I could be typed deep album tracks. What?
We made an album, like a house music album, inspired by Chicago and some of the Minneapolis sound, Chicago and Detroit sound, way back in 1988. And it was only till Madonna did Vogue that kind of music began to get popular in America. So yeah, sometimes you come along with something, it's not that popular, but it's kind of ahead of its time. Sometimes it's behind its time. So I never worry about that, really. But I mean, I'm very privileged because I made about 10, 12 albums. So, it's nice to see the progress of the albums. And these days, funny enough, Luke, with Spotify, people go back and they kind of look at a whole career. You do a playlist of an act, and people get to hear a lot of the music that was in the corners, in the shadows back in the 80s and 90s. Some of the stuff that wasn't as popular. It's popular now, yeah.
The closest show to up here in Wisconsin is in Waukegan, February 20th. Then, of course, if anyone wants to go around here, goes overseas, watch the Lexicon of Love with the orchestra and come October, November, etc. Very last question before you go. What would be the next thing in plan?
Probably after the tour, I'm going to take a look at we're going to go and play a big orchestral tour end of the year in Europe. So I'll probably be looking at the charts and the arrangements on that. It's like a 2.5-hour show. But I've been writing a lot of songs recently, so it'd be nice to make a new record. Yeah, do something else.
Well, we play new songs from classic artists on our radio station, so if it comes out, I will definitely give it a spin. Martin, thank you for chatting today. All the best with Howard on the tour and everything coming up later this year.
Thanks, Luke.